Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing World of Warships. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, boom boom pow. Let's get to it. Alright, so World of Warships is a free-to-play game all about wartime or war-era battleships. Different types of ships that you can use, and it is a 9v9 gameplay. So why don't we start off right off the bat and just go over what's going on. Alright, so you can get containers which can have a variety of different items. We'll get to that in a little bit. There is a premium account where you can get a certain amount of time, where you'll get a little bit extra boost from playing different battles. You start off with some, and of course you can look online for or store for different benefits based on that. Alright. There's global XP, and you can convert elite XP to global XP. You have credits, which is your normal in-game currency, and then you have doubloons, which is the premium currency. Now, you're not going to be able to see everything that you see on my screen right away. At the very beginning, you will see only the versus AI and play when you start off, and the store. I believe play in the store. And then as you play, as you level up, you kind of peel back the different layers and get into a little bit more about what's going on. You'll get into ships, and then you can choose a different nation, because you'll start off with a couple ships, but then you can go into whatever nation you want and play with different nations' ships. Now, there are different types of ships, so let's look at that real quick. The main ship, or the base ship, is the cruiser, and the cruiser is kind of a mid-range type of ship. It generally has artillery and has a decent amount of survivability, so hit points. But it's not the fastest ship, it's not the biggest ship, it's kind of the in-between. Next we have the destroyer. The destroyers are marked because of their torpedoes. All destroyers have torpedoes, and the farther you go up, generally the more torpedoes that you get. So instead of having, say, one salvo of torpedoes, you might have 2 salvos, or instead of 3 torpedoes at a time, you have 4 torpedoes at a time. And destroyers are not very survivable, so they have few hit points, but they are fast. They're very maneuverable. So just looking between the two of these, the cruiser has survivability of 32, whereas this one's 10. Maneuverability is 80, however, on the destroyer, whereas maneuverability is 35. So destroyer is very good about getting around the map very quickly. Cruisers are the in-between, or the base model. And then you have battleships. Battleships are the huge, basically huge ships, very slow. They have a lot of hit points, and they can do a lot of damage at long range. Now, cruisers and battleships, most cruisers and battleships also have secondary turrets, which are AI controlled, which will shoot at your enemies once they get within a certain range. Battleships are best used at range. In general, you don't want to be taking the battleship in close. So 3 different types of ships, 3 different play styles. So you may be really excited about playing a battleship. You might be really excited about the cruiser or the destroyer. It's up to you. You can play whichever type of ship you want. The other thing is reload times. Your turrets take a certain amount of time to reload, just like torpedoes take a certain amount of time to reload. And between the cruisers and the battleships, the cruisers in general take less time, let's say maybe 10 seconds to reload their main battery of weapons, whereas the battleship probably will take 20 to 30 seconds. Not to mention moving those gigantic guns around the ship. So if you have to turn 180 degrees because someone got behind you, it will take the better part of a minute in order to do that. Alright, then once you get further yet, you'll have access to commanders, and each country has a slew of commanders to choose from. You'll get one pretty much automatically once you have that available, and then the rest of them you'll either get by luck, or you'll go to the store and get them by using Commander XP. 900,000 Commander XP. So it better be a good one, because that is actually a lot. Campaigns and missions you'll unlock as you go further along, and it's not what you think. Normally when you think of a campaign is like a story-driven arc. There's actually no story in World of Warships. So the campaign is more akin to a season ranking, where you have a free track and you have a premium track. And in order to get the premium track, you're talking about roughly $10, and you're talking about a month in order to get everything on that track. And there is 100 different levels, and what's being offered, what you're really going for, is really what you can get on that last level. So the current one is the Yasen Butte Leader, which is a Japanese ship. It's a cruiser, and it looks really cool. So of course you want it, but of course that's on the premium track. On the free track, at the top tier, you get a patch symbol. So it's there's a little bit of a difference between the premium and the free track. All right, so in order to progress the campaign, you need to complete the weekly Havoc, and there are going to be 4 weeks of weekly Havoc, which makes sense because there's 28 days, and each week is locked by the previous week. So you have to finish week 1 before you can get to week 2, etc., etc. So you have to do certain things. So in standard battle or versus AI, so either one, tier 3 to tier 7 ships, you have to earn 11,000 XP. Which does take a little bit of time, and then cause 600,000 hit points of damage to ships, destroy 5 battleships, which are the big ships, destroy 5 cruisers, and 5 destroyers. So you have to know how to do those different things. Alright, so now speaking of commanders, commanders have different perks and different rankings. Starting off at rank 1, you only have access to this first tier of perks, and you can choose whatever works best for you. And then as you go along, you get more. Now, in order to increase the ranking of your commander, you need Commander XP. And the only way to get Commander XP is to have a commander on your boat and then play the game. Once you get to a certain point, you will also need promotion orders. Promotion orders, you can sometimes get from crates, but most of the time you're going to get from weekly boosts. So you see down at the bottom there's 3, 2, and 10. The 10 is the promotion orders. So it is time gated how many promotions that you can get pretty much each week. Now, the premium supplies you can get promotion orders to a lesser degree, but you have to have premium ships. Now, more than likely, you'll have a premium ship, but in order to get more premium ships, you'll need either premium currency or global XP. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about global XP. Global XP can be used for ships, obviously. And the other thing that they can be used for is boosting the levels of your ships. So looking at upgrades and loadouts, you have this bar that goes across, and as you play with the ship, you get XP. And once you get all the way out, you can get another ship. But if you want, you can boost your level up to that next level and get the next ship. You say, oh, I really want that tier 3 ship, I really want the tier 4 ship, what have you, so on and so forth, and each level gets longer to get to than the previous one. And more expensive. Alright, so these gold ones that you see are premium ships. All the white ones are regular ships. Alright, and you see these little red stars by all these ships. That indicates which ships have daily XP bonuses. So once per day for a victory, you get 1.5 times ship XP rather than the normal amount. Now at tier 2, your upgrades and your bonuses are usually pretty limited. All ships will have consumables. One consumable, you have a damage control party, which if there's any sort of fire, flooding, a cannon that has been damaged, or the rudder stops working, etc., any deleterious effect will be mitigated by this damage control party, and you have an unlimited number of uses. Now, there is a cooldown time, so once you flip the switch on this, it'll be available for 5 seconds. After those 5 seconds are up, it'll go on cooldown, then you can't use it again. So if you get another deleterious effect, whether it's fire or damaged rudder, then you won't be able to use it until it's off its cooldown. Now, as you go up in the levels, you have different consumables, and depending on what type of ship, you may have different consumables available. So this destroyer has both high explosive and armor piercing shells. Both of them are useful for different things. So AP shells obviously are better for things like battleships that have a big chunk of hit points. But things like destroyers, not so much. If you use armor-piercing shells on destroyers. They're gonna basically go through the ship and not do a whole lot of damage. High explosive shells have a chance of dealing fire. So you can cause fire and you can incapacitate modules. And then of course torpedoes are extremely good against battleships, but they are good against any ship. I say best against battleships because battleships of course are much slower and are they have a much more difficult time avoiding the torpedoes. Now looking at the consumables, you have an engine boost which will increase your max speed 8%, not a lot, but it can make a difference. Smoke generator. You make a smoke screen, it'll last for 20 seconds and then the smoke will stay for about a minute. So in the 20 seconds you can spread the smoke around and then create a screen. Ships within the screen that are not firing their main battery will stay invisible unless a ship is close enough to see them. They must be much closer. Now let's look at camouflage. Now the camouflage is considered a consumable. Looking at the different types, you have type 1, so C detectability makes you harder to detect for negative 4.5%. Type 2, incoming fire dispersion, so when someone fires at you, it spreads out more. And then type 3 has both detectability and fire dispersion, but at a lesser degree than the type 1 or type 2. And then type 4 is basically a type 1 and type 2 put together. It's harder to see you, so you have to get closer in order to be detected, and then people that are firing at you, the rate of fire, the spread will be greater. And then shadow, and you can preview these to see how it will look on your ship. So every time you put one of these on every battle you go into, it will be used until you have none left. Then you'll have to switch to a different one. Now, you see at the bottom, you can melt it to paint. We'll get to that in a second. Now, if you have 25 of any type, any one type, you can create a permanent camouflage into a grade 1. Grade 1 camouflage, which is not the same as type 1. So, were we to have 25 of the type 3 camouflage, we could turn it into a grade 1 permanent camouflage. So permanent camouflage is permanent. It won't be used. However, it has to be on that ship. So I would recommend waiting until you get a tier 3 or tier 4 ship before creating a permanent camouflage. Alright, so looking at, let me see, I know I have one with, oops, not what I wanted to do. Alright, so permanent camouflage. Once you have permanent camouflage on a ship, you see that the grade 1 permanent camouflage type 2 is different than the type 2 camouflage that is disposable. Disposable camouflage gives you fire dispersion plus 4.5%, whereas the permanent, let's see, type 2 gives you C detectability and fire dispersion of 0.5%. So a big difference. However, these can be upgraded. So you could go from grade 1 to grade 2, etc. However, you need paint in order to do that. In fact, you need 150 paint, which I have 60. So, creating permanent camouflage does not give you the same benefit that a disposable camouflage gives you. It gives you a different and a much lower amount at grade 1, and you have to upgrade it. Alright, now looking at this is a cruiser. You'll notice that it has different consumables. This cruiser has the same damage control party that every other ship has. But it also has sonar, which increases the range of guaranteed acquisition of enemy ships and torpedoes, including those within smoke screens. So, detection of torpedoes you see is 2.5 kilometers and ships 3.5 kilometers, which is actually really close for warships. And then you have a catapult fighter, which follows the ship and automatically attacks other aircraft. Alright, and looking at, let's see, there's a couple. Let's look at this one. This is a battleship. Consumables, damage control party, just as before. This has a repair party, so it will partially restore the HP of the ship. So this gives you 228 HP per second for 28 seconds. And then it will take you almost a minute and a half before you can use it again. And you can use it 3 times per sea fight, which is 15 minutes maximum length. And then it also has enhanced secondary targeting, lower the dispersion and improve grouping of your secondary armament. That makes it more likely to hit enemy vessels. And of course, it'll last for half a minute, and then it takes 3 minutes before you can use it again. Alright, now let's look at this row of boosters. Boosters are also consumables, and each one in this line is a little bit different. So this will give you extra ship XP, plus 25, plus 50, plus 100% of what you normally get in a battle. So this will help you get to your next tier faster. This gives you commander XP boosts. So your commander generates commander XP faster. That'll help you raise your ranking of your different commanders. Global XP, that gives you that global XP, that green star currency. 100, 200, 400% of normal. And you see that 4 of the lower ones go into 1 of the rare. So 4 commons go into 1 rare, and 3 rares go into 1 epic. So if you were to take the appropriate amount of common to create 1 epic, you're talking about 12. You need 12 commons to make 1 epic. And so instead of using 1200% global XP over the course of 12 battles, you get 400% in 1 battle. So there are certain scenarios where it would be better to have a epic global XP booster, or any of these boosters. However, most cases it doesn't make a lot of sense to convert them into the higher tiers, unless you can guarantee that your next battle is a guaranteed win where you just get a ton of points. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, credit boosters get an extra 10, 20, or 40% credits more than what you would normally get. And then battle boosters, this actually does something in the battle. The common one gives you extra movement speed. The rare gives you movement and extra reload of consumables. And the epic gives you extra range, movement, and reload. So I think the battle boosters are the only one that I would consider converting up, because the boost that you get actually improves as you go up. Alright, so that is all the things that I can think of on the ships themselves. One more thing to talk about before we get into it is the Bureau. The Bureau is a time-gated event, I guess you would call it. Basically, you start it, and then it goes to completion, and it just takes time in order to do. Now, this one I'm working on right now. Once this segment is complete, then I'll get the Japanese commander, Kandu, and then it moves on to the next one, and so forth and so on, until you get all the way to the end. Now the Bureau is the last piece of the puzzle, or the last thing that'll unlock as you're playing the game. And you'll want to look at each segment, because each segment will allow you to boost the progress with patrons. So if you have certain commanders and they have to be certain ranks, certain ships, and certain daily trials. So these obviously give 100,000, but you can only get that once per day. And then there's Breakthrough, which when you do the first part you can use credits, but this will only you can only boost with the balloons, which of course is the premium currency. Alright. So versus AI, you don't have to worry too much about what the other team's doing. You can kind of go in and get a feel for how to play. So when you're just starting off, you only have versus AI, but when you start getting into battleships and destroyers, you may want to go into versus AI to kind of get a feel for how they are different than other ships, or the cruiser, I should say. At its heart, I think World of Warships is a real-time strategic game. You can play it as an action game, but just be prepared to be a little bit more disappointed. Getting into especially the higher tiers in standard battles or PvP battles. You'll see symbols at the top. Red, of course, is the enemy. Green or blue is yours. And you can play with 2 other people or friends.
Battle starts.
And you can be on the same team in the same game. Now this cruiser, wait, this is not a cruiser, this is a destroyer. So the main weapon that you're going to look at is the torpedoes. And torpedoes can be wide or narrow. Some of them have different compositions. And it's a tier 2, so it's not what I would say is awesome. Started doing smoke. make it a little bit harder for them to see what's going on. There is a destroyer. We're going to shoot off some torpedoes, see if we can't get them. There we go. You can have binocular view, which will give you a better idea. You see how long it takes to reload the cannons. Still another 10 seconds for torpedoes on that side. Ooh, and we got enemy torpedoes coming in. Hit one. Hit one. 10 seconds left on there. Oh, I must have hit this guy. Uh-oh. So we had engine damage. Oh, there we go. Another torpedo hit. And there we go. Someone sunk him. It wasn't me. Uh-oh. 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 Ooh, that was close.
Engine boost activated.
Alright, so that is a battleship, and it has a lot of armor, making it hard to destroy. What I'm going to do is get a little bit closer and then fire it off. And fire it off. And then most battleships do not have... Ooh, there we go, look at that. Torpedoes, so you don't have to worry about torpedoes, at least from those guys.
Problem solved, sir.
Oh, someone else shot off torpedoes. Alright, we got another one coming in. Ooh, and someone hit it with torpedoes already? That's crazy. Let's see, where is he at? I don't think he's gonna make it. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Cruisers sometimes have torpedoes and sometimes do not, so you have to always kind of... Oh, there we go. I sunk his battleship.
Our victory is in sight.
I wasn't sure they would make it to him. You can see at the top, enemy team has 2 ships left. They're both cruisers. 1 slash through them is cruiser, 2 is battleship, and then the little triangle is destroyer. Now once you get sunk, once your ship is out, you can watch the rest of the match from one of your teammates' point of view. Or you can go back to the port. It says, you sure you want to leave? And you say, sure. Now, one of the things about leaving is that your ship will be unusable until that battle is finished. However, you will still gain everything you normally would have through the battle. So all of your ship destroys, all your ribbons will be counted. So it was basically over. It should only take a minute or two. And we'll take a look at the score. Now each nation has, like I said, different commanders that you can use, but only for that country. And you'll always want to be sure to check the perks on your commander, that it corresponds with what you're using. So I could have used torpedo perks, which might have gotten me a little bit more of an edge. Alright, so here we go. victory received 25,000 credits, 872 ship XP, 44 global XP, 872 commander XP, and that is because of premium. Without premium, you can see what the numbers would have been. So you get a decent amount of bonus with premium. Battle performance, 46,000 points of damage, 22 targets hit. That's with the main turret. Target hits with the little green ribbon, 9 of those. That's torpedo hits. 1 incapacitation. That means that they either their engine had a failure, or their rudder couldn't turn, or one of their torpedo tubes or guns were damaged. 1 ship destroyed. And, I mean, obviously, you can only have a maximum of 9 per battle. And then 5 caused flooding. So, about a 50% chance of causing flooding from hitting someone with a torpedo. And then the progress at the bottom, that's all talking about the campaign and missions. Then you can look at the team result and then the economy. One thing you'll notice is that every time you take a ship into battle, there is an expense or a cost in order to take them out. So this ship costs 5,819 credits to be used in the battle, and earned a total of 19,774 credits. So without the premium boost, you're talking about 11,000 credits. So much smaller amount of credits without premium. Now this is a game, I would say, that is free to play, and you can play it free to play, but they highly incentivize spending money. So whether you're playing free to play, or whether you're supporting the developers of the game and spending some money either one time or so much every week or every month, every year, what have you, you know, that's certainly up to you. But just know you don't have to spend money in order to play the game. Now, once you have an idea of what you're doing, you can take your ships, I would say tier 3 and above. You have the opportunity to take them into the standard battles. And remember, each ship, every single ship you can take into battle, and every victory will give you bonus XP. Alright, so this is also a tier 2 Italian ship, but this is a cruiser instead of a destroyer. Also has torpedoes. I basically get 1, maybe 3, but you do it 1 at a time. Armor piercing, high explosives. And you basically have 2 different objectives on the map. Either capture the targets or capture the base. capturing these areas will give your team points. Start off each team with 300, and then as you capture them, you'll get additional points. First one to 1,000, or first team to be eliminated wins. Now wherever you look is where your guns are going to point, and it takes time to get there. So if you go from one side to the other, it'll take a little bit of time, more so in the battleships. Oh, I got one hit. Oh, somebody shot off some. We started turning, and of course that made me miss. See if I hit him there. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. Oh, another one. Ooh, someone hit him with a salvo of torpedoes, I think. Now the only consumable this ship has is turn the rudder. Damage control party. It doesn't have any of the others. Again, it is a tier 2, so it tends to be a little bit more basic than the higher tiers. Now you'll notice that the reload time for torpedoes is a bit longer for cruisers than for destroyers, and depending on the nation it could be higher or lower. Down to 3 enemy ships. Oh, and it's over. They lost all their points, I believe. Yep, enemy team lost all their points. So you come back, you get your XP, you get your credits, your global XP, and you can move on. So like I said, tier 2s, I highly recommend going into versus AI. Tier 3s, you can start thinking about standard battles. You can be a lot more forgiving, I think, in versus AI for bad strategic choices than playing standard. And there is something to be said of map awareness and map familiarity. So far I've been playing all versus AI, which makes it a little bit easier. Now this ship, although a cruiser like the last one, does not have torpedoes of any type, but I still have the choice between armor piercing and high explosive rounds. Which way am I going? Oh, I'm going towards A. So in general, you want to avoid the middle of the map, because that's generally the worst place to be. Use the islands as cover. Something like a destroyer is much more agile, so in general you can get out of bad situations a little bit faster. However, you have fewer hit points, so it's less forgiving for making bad strategic choices in Destroyer. Also, be aware of where your teammates are. If you're the only one in an area, there's a good possibility that you're not going to survive. One lone ship, whether it's a destroyer, cruiser, what have you, generally isn't going to survive long against anything. Ooh, I gotta lead them a lot more than that. You have to lead the target and know how fast they're going and how far away they're going. Ooh, I got hit from somewhere. Oh, and I still missed him. Uh-oh. Hey, I got a hit. Oh, and I destroyed him. Now you see different symbols there with the... when you hit them, it tells you how many hit and actually did damage, how many like ricocheted off, and there's no friendly fire. Uh-oh, torpedoes coming in for me. Yeah, torpedoes are just really nasty. They do a lot of damage, but they can be... Oh, damage their torpedoes. Oh, there's another guy right there. You see that? Oh, he's moving. He's moving. Oh, and his buddy got destroyed. Alright, so... that could have been ugly. I think he's too far away. Yeah. The other thing is make sure you don't hit any of the islands, because if you hit them, you don't get damaged. However, you're a sitting duck. Much like the old pirate ships. You're going to get more damage or DPS by hitting them broadside than by... what's that? Oh, someone shot off though. Oh, he's turning. And he's far enough away that you have to lead him at least somewhat. Oh, he's going away. He's moving away. Oh, look at that. Alright, now, I got a guy right here. See how fast these guns turn before I get creamed or someone else creams them. Yep, and that's it. That was the last ship. I didn't do a lot of damage, but I sunk ships. Performance is based more on damage and, you know, like the number of ribbons you get versus how many ships you sink. So even though I sank 3, you know, here I am down towards the bottom half of the list because I didn't actually do a lot of damage. So doing more damage is going to be a much bigger deal than sinking a ship. So just because you sank a ship doesn't mean that you're going to get a lot of points or credits for doing it. Alright, so now we're going to go and take this tier 4 into a standard battle, which is a much different prospect. No boosters, no camouflage, just my commander, the upgrades that I have unlocked currently, and that's it. So let's see what happens. See how it pans out. Now, I think the game does a pretty good job of matchmaking um, within reason. And I'll tell you what I mean by that after the battle. You can look at the tactical view here. It shows you right there, teammates, and then nobody over there. Tier 4, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. 4s and 5s. So my tier, of course, is lower than the others. Let's see. Now I am within range. I'm going to back up, actually. Now you can see how much slower.
I need intelligence data.
Now you can look up at the either up or down and see where you're looking on the map, or versus or relative to the ship. Now here's another battleship that only now decided to start moving. 17 kilometers is too far out to hit. This guy is in my way. 13 kilometers, of course, is certainly within my purview. But since he's moving, I'm using armor piercing, which is good versus those big bad battleships. So I'm going to turn to make sure that I'm going the right direction. Now I do have to be careful about, you can look up on the radar, the top left, you can see where you're headed. I'm headed right towards an island, so I will have to turn. Hopefully... Oh, someone got him? Whoa.
Nice work.
Now, one of the big things that you want to be aware of as a battleship is that destroyers are kind of your Achilles heel. Oop. Turn. I said I needed to turn and then I forgot to turn. So anything close range really is going to be dangerous. Oh, someone got him with torpedoes, so you know there's a destroyer over here somewhere. Actually, I think he was over here, wasn't he? So you can sometimes get over, but it depends. You can shoot over that kind of stuff, but let's see. Oh, there's only... See, I'm the only one over here other than that other battleship. See, he's coming around. Using these things as cover. Oh, look, there's two of them. Battleships generally are pretty good against cruisers. However, you do have to be aware that cruisers can and sometimes do have torpedoes, which are really bad for battleships. Alright, so they're in the line of fire right now. They may try to back up. I will need to be careful. And armor piercing may not be at best. Oh, and you knew I was there. Oh yeah, that is. 20 seconds. Ooh, I need to turn. Oh, he's moving. Oh, he got hit. He's a sitting duck. He's gonna back up. 3, 2, 1. Alright, you see I'm on fire. I can hit that. Ooh, I got him. I got him good. Now that guy's on the other side. He's gonna try and stay away from me while staying in the capture zone. They're trying to cap. Oh, there we go. Come on. Come on. He's getting hit. I only have 2 shots on him. Ooh, that was a good hit. Yeah, he's pretty much stopped now. And he's down, alright. Now you can see these guys are over here. I need to get my guns turning around, since it takes a long time to get those guns turned. It's pretty even, although we only have 1 cruiser left, and they have 1 destroyer left, and everything else is battleships. Ooh, had a shot that went through. That's not good. Get the repair party going. Get some of that HP back. Shut down. He's turning. He's still moving, though. Oh, I can't believe that didn't hit him. He may have. Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. He hit me full on in that one. Yeah, the thing is that it just takes so long to stop and then get going again. Oh, I had one that went through. What the heck? I need to go. Let's turn.
Affirmative.
And I'm down. So as you can see, much different game, really, playing versus other people versus playing AI. Well, hello, Alan. Welcome from Scotland. Gonna take a destroyer in this time, I think. And of course, this is PvP standard battle. So I think the difference between playing other players, if you're going in playing with the action shoot 'em up mindset versus a more strategic mindset, I think it's analogous to someone playing checkers versus someone playing chess. I think it makes a big difference. Alan Marshall says, I play World of Warships on PS4, am an average player. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being an average player, as long as you're having fun playing with your friends, whether it's real life friends or friends that you've met online.
Roger. Roger.
Am I the only one over here? Basically. I think I'm gonna shoot off a couple of torpedoes and then back off. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Oh, there's a Wyoming. Shoot them off here, shoot them off there, and then just keep moving. See, there's a destroyer right there. You're getting hit, dude. I don't know why you came through the middle. Now I have to get through here and try to help him out. Yeah, I've been spotted. Alright, 4, 3, 2, 1. And smoke stun. Alright, so what do we got left on the... Getting there. 5 seconds. Out of range. So you have to get closer. Now you know there's a destroyer over there. How many they got 4 destroyers on their team. We've got 3, so torpedoes are gonna be really nasty here. Oh, and I've been seen, so let's see, right there and right there. So even if he changes direction, there's, I don't know whose smoke screen this is, but I'm gonna use it. It's almost... Oh no, it's not almost out. Alright, what do we have left here? 42 seconds. He backed up. Ooh, allies capturing the base. There's a destroyer, one of ours, and one of theirs. This battleship is over there. I don't know what he's thinking. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't run aground. Move. Oh, that hit the ground before it hit me. Otherwise I would have been toast. There we go. This could end pretty quick here. 2 minutes. if they don't come get us. Oh, and I've got torpedoes ready. You know, if you stop moving, you're pretty much a sitting duck. More so if you're a battleship. Alan says left stick in. Hey, yeah, I appreciate that. I still get a little bit disoriented when all of a sudden I see an island coming at me that I didn't expect. More so playing destroyers than some of the others. And you try and turn away real quick, and then if you turn back into it, I probably would have missed it entirely, yes. Oh, there's a Wyoming 10 kilometers out. Should I leave the capture area? No, I don't think I should. They still have a destroyer somewhere. So that Wyoming's in big trouble. I'm glad there's no friendly fire, because there's several times when a teammate... Ooh, yeah, we got it. 3, 2, 1. Nice job, guys. Not too shabby. Of course, my battleship didn't get into a victorious fight. 42,000 out of 55,000. I'm close to getting that. Wait, there's 2, isn't there? Yes. 2,000 away from the next one. Furutaka. Use my cruiser and see how we do there. I don't know. I'd venture to say it's a whole different game playing against people versus playing against AI. Like, I think the AI is decent. I think they did a good job on how the ships maneuver and stay in as a group, but it's much more forgiving than playing versus other people. Now, I think there are times when you get matched up with people that are in the same tier or maybe a tier above yours, but have a lot more experience playing the game. Narrow, wide. Alright, how close am I to that island? Not very. smoke screen down there already. On their side, they've got 3 destroyers, we've got 3 destroyers, 2 cruisers, so they've got an extra battleship. Or no, they got an extra destroyer. No, they have an extra battleship. Lots of battleships.
Achtung, meldet Zielposition.
Oop, there we go. So can I turn it around without hitting it? Maybe. Nope, not quite. Oh, that's our guy. Alright. Back it up. Yeah, that was kind of a mistake on my part. Everyone's still in it. Oh, our destroyer got taken out. Which, is that the guy in the middle? No. I have it on wide. Probably a good idea. Oh man. There's a destroyer over by our base. So swing back around to go that way. Hopefully my turrets turn. Heading into it. I don't know. Oh no, okay, that's where I was looking. Let's see, sonar was 1 minute, I think. Battleship over there. Uh-oh, this isn't looking good. So we've got 2 guys out already, and they've only lost 1. Their battleships are starting to move in. Yep, we lost another one. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate the sub. This guy has to be in the corner minute and a half.
I need help.
Where's the guy at? He can see me, obviously. I can't see him. Even with the sonar going. Oh, there he is. That's why I couldn't see him. Wow, I can't see him even with everything going on. Oh, there he is. And he's moving. Ooh.
警告戦場に火災を確認
Ah. Turn.
完了し
Turn.
ました前方から魚雷接近
Are there two? Yep, there's two. There, I got one of them. Going around. Dang it. Those armor piercing aren't going to do anything. Now we basically just have to defend and... Nice. I still can't see the guy. There he is. He's just gonna run around, wait for his battleship buddies to show up. A minute and a half before I can throw those out. Let's see, is he the kind of guy that would shoot out torpedoes assuming that I would chase him, or would he shoot out torpedoes assuming I would see him over here on this side? I don't think I've been spotted. Come on. Turn him around. Oh, now I've been spotted. Yep, there he goes. He's turning around. Oh, no. I'm in trouble.
が最後の希望です。対応完了しました。
Oh, his gun. Oh, set on fire. Oh, he's turning. He's turning. There we go.
敵駆逐艦の撃沈を確認。
He did a whole lot of damage, though. And I'm the last guy. 1 against 5. Yep. Yep. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm like dead. Dead in the water here. Wow, those guys are really trying hard to take me out. And honestly, one good shot will probably take me out. I mean, the thing is that battleships, did I hit him? Well, I hit one.
前方に魚雷確認。
Oh no! Yep. I wasn't close enough to the island. Well, the writing was on the wall on that one. I'd say pretty early on. But I did okay. 21 hits, 8 incapacitation, 1 destroyed, 2 set on fire, and 3 target hits with those secondary guns. 117,000 credits and 1,350 ship XP. So even though I didn't win, it was a pretty good fight, at least for me. Alan Marshall says, I do voices in the game. Which voices do you do in the game? I'm assuming not the Japanese commanders. So use the versus AI to, figure out where you should be and how the different ships act. Go into standard once you're a little bit more comfortable. Once you have some map familiarity. And then playing ranked, of course, is, kind of putting it all together, getting a group together and getting that all done. I set them on fire and everything.
戦闘機発艦対応完了しました 全艦目標に攻撃を集中せよ 優先攻撃目標を指定する優先攻撃目標を目標に攻撃を集中せよ
Turn it, turn it, turn it. That was close. And spotted. That guy's running.
警告戦場に火災を確認 対応完了しました
I'm in trouble. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.